I had a teacher at school who kinda looked like a cross between Simon Cowell and Gordon Ramsay. Her name was Miss Phillips, and she wasn't a very nice person. She was moody, she was overly strict, and she was the most popular teacher in the school. Seriously. Now, in an ideal world, the nicer you were to people, the more popular and respected you would be. But I think we all know that's not always the case. Not unless you can benefit from something I like to call the kindness loophole. What's the kindness loophole? Well, the short answer is, kind is to nice what gentle is to weak. And as for the long answer, Fluent social. Painfully obsessing over every aspect of social reality imaginable, so you don't have to. Suppose we'd already agreed that although we use the words nice and kind interchangeably sometimes, there's a slight difference in the implication of using each word to describe someone. For example, a person can be labelled as nice simply for being polite and inoffensive, whereas being labelled as kind suggests that there's been a nice act directed towards another person. Suppose we also agree that there's a difference between being weak and being gentle. Both words describe a lack of force or deliberate power, but in relation to our understanding of strength, the word weak and the word gentle are complete opposites. If a 2-year-old slaps you on the back and it doesn't hurt, it's because the 2-year-old isn't strong enough and therefore couldn't muster up enough force to hurt you, even if they wanted to. But if The Rock slaps you on the back and it doesn't hurt, it wouldn't be because The Rock wasn't strong enough to generate enough force to hurt you. It would be because he was deliberately withholding force in an effort to not hurt you. The end result would be the same, but the meaning completely different. One is the result of withholding force, the other not being able to generate force. One comes from a place of strength, the other a lack of strength. One is being gentle, the other is being weak. So what does this have to do with kindness? Well, if kind is to nice what gentle is to weak, then the difference between being seen as a kind person and being seen as a nice person could be the difference between being appreciated and being walked all over, between someone thanking you for your assistance and treating you like their assistant, the difference between being seen as gentle or being seen as weak. But let me give you an example of how this distinction presents itself in the real world and how someone becomes an accidental pushover. Giving someone a helping hand can be seen as both a nice thing to do or a kind thing to do. There's no immediate distinction between the two, which means if there is going to be a distinction anywhere, it's not going to be in the action itself, it's going to be in the end result. More specifically, if the end result makes the action look like it came from a position of strength, it will be labelled as kind. If it looks like it came from a position of weakness, it will be labelled as nice. Now I'm aware this isn't a consideration that most normal people would make in real time, but just stick with me for a second. Imagine I saw you walking down the street struggling with some heavy bags. Let's say you have 4 of them. If I wanted to offer a helping hand, I've got 3 options. Take all of the bags, take some of the bags, or take none of the bags. Now, taking none of the bags is neither kind or nice. It's just funny. So let's remove that from the equation. Both of the remaining 2 options result in you being in a better position than the one you started in, which means the distinction between you seeing me as a kind person you're grateful to versus seeing me as a doormat you can take advantage of actually lies in how the end result affects me, not you. I'm going to give you an example of how this works, but I need you for the next few moments to think of kindness like a mission in a video game. In this game, we each have a starting position. My position, as the one with no bags, is superficially stronger than your position as the one struggling with 4 bags. My kindness mission would be to use my stronger starting position to help you reach a stronger end position without ever allowing my end position to drop to a level as weak as your starting position. Why? Because if I choose to help you escape a weaker position by simply taking your place in that weaker position, that's not me being kind to you, that's me sacrificing myself for you. And you don't sacrifice yourself for another person unless you believe that that other person is better or more important than you. Similarly, a person wouldn't allow you to sacrifice yourself for them unless they felt that they were better or more important than you. So how do I achieve this kindness mission? Well, if you're struggling with 4 bags, but I'm much stronger than you physically, then me taking all 4 bags is an act of kindness, because even though I'm now in a weaker position than I started at, the bags are nowhere near as heavy for me as they were for you, so my new position is hardly changed, whilst yours has changed a lot, but for the better. If I'm the same level of strength as you, however, me taking all 4 bags is a sacrificial nice guy act that makes me look like a doormat, because all I've done is decided that what was solely your struggle should now solely be my struggle, presumably because I feel your comfort is more important than mine. And the fact that you've allowed me to take all 4 bags, knowing how much of a struggle it is, would suggest that you also believe that your comfort is more important than mine. Otherwise, you would have only allowed me to take some of the bags, because if we're at the same level of strength, me taking only some of the bags allows me to perform an act of kindness by strengthening your position without significantly weakening mine. So in summary, one of the conditions of an act being seen as kind instead of nice is the actor needs to start off in a stronger position than a recipient, thus using their stronger position for good like a superhero. The actor also can't finish in a weaker position than a recipient as a result of the kind act. The actor can only fall as far as equal to the recipient after the good deed is done. Otherwise, it's the act of a pushover just begging to be taken advantage of. And the issue with presenting yourself to someone in this way is whether or not this person actually chooses to take advantage of your need to please. You've essentially told them that whether or not they take advantage of you is their decision, not yours, which is the epitome of being a doormat. And if they always have the option of taking advantage of you, that means they're always in a stronger position than you, regardless of the specific situation. And if they're always in a stronger position than you being nice to them seems less like benevolence and more like self-preservation. But clearly, this dynamic doesn't only exist within abstract examples about shopping bags, it also exists within our everyday social hierarchies. If kindness is used in a position of strength to help someone or make them feel good, then cruelty is used in a position of strength to hurt someone or make them feel bad. Simple enough. But positions of strength or power don't exist in isolation. They generally exist within social hierarchies, and with them come 3 types of power: sanctioned power, explicit unsanctioned power, and implicit unsanctioned power. Sanctioned power is authority-based, so it describes anyone whose relationship to you inherently dictates that they have authority over you. A teacher at school, your boss at work, a police officer, you get the idea. Anyone who gets to tell you what to do with legally backed, authorized negative consequences for you not obeying them. Getting kicked out of school, getting fired from your job, getting arrested and beaten, you get the point. Explicit unsanctioned power describes anyone whose relationship to you doesn't inherently dictate that they have authority over you, but they still get to exert dominance over you because they have a physical advantage over you, social influence that can be used against you, or some kind of mental or emotional hold over you. Which means that even though there are no legally backed or officially authorized consequences for you not doing what they say, there are still negative consequences for you not doing what they say. People who exert this kind of dominance are usually called bullies. Implicit unsanctioned power, on the other hand, describes anyone who has the same physical advantage, social influence, or mental emotional hold over you, but doesn't use it to exert dominance over you. Therefore, the power is not explicit because they never show it, but deep down, you both know they could use it against you if they wanted to. They just don't want to. In fact, you may even be aware of them using this power against other people, they just don't use it against you because you're their ally in some way. Now, as I mentioned before, kindness implies a level of strength that could be used just as easily for cruelty. So within our social hierarchies, in order for a nice gesture or general demeanour to be viewed as kindness or benevolence, it would need to be performed by someone that could just as easily get away with not being nice or even cruel. This is important. If a person has or is seen to have any of these types of power over you, you being nice to them isn't viewed as kindness or appreciated as such because of the explicitly known or socially implied negative consequences of you not being nice. Similarly, it's basically impossible to be seen as cruel to someone who has the ability to retaliate with greater force. The opposite is true for someone in any of these positions of power. If moody Miss Phillips is nice to you, even just a little bit, it's viewed as kindness and appreciated as such, both by you and anyone else watching. In fact, just the absence of cruelty is appreciated more than niceness from someone that couldn't get away with anything other than being nice. Also, those of you who are taken advantage of for being nice are treated this way because, on some level, the people who take advantage of you believe that you're only being nice to them because you don't have the power to get away with being anything else. Basically, they think you're weak. So think of the whole nice gesture within a social hierarchy thing like this. You hold the door open for your boss walking behind you. And then later, your boss's boss holds the door open for your boss walking behind them. Which do you think your boss appreciates more? It's almost entirely dictated by who we feel could get away with not being nice, rather than the nature of the nice gesture itself. And if you think about it, this difference between whether niceness is appreciated as strength or dismissed as weakness doesn't just present itself within explicitly defined social hierarchies, it also presents itself within another particularly notable area. I have a theory. I think that when people, especially women, say that they just want to meet somebody nice with a good heart that's going to treat them right, what they're trying to say is, I want someone that's kind. That's it. A brief recap. 1. Lowering yourself to a significantly weaker position for the sole purpose of helping someone else reach a significantly stronger position doesn't show that you're kind. It shows that you believe that the other person is better or more important than you. And if they allow you to make that sacrifice, it shows that they agree. 2. Kindness comes from a position of strength. Being nice to someone isn't recognized as kindness if it appears that you're only being nice to avoid the negative consequences of not being nice. 3. Kindness is strength being used to pull people up rather than push them down. So if you're in a relationship with someone and your mentality is, I'll do anything they want me to do because they're the most important person to me, I just want them to be happy, you may think you're showing kindness, but you're actually showing that you're the perfect person to take advantage of with no comeback because you believe that they're more important than you. When you first start trying to date someone and your mentality is, I'll just agree with everything they say, laugh at all their jokes, pretend I'm into all the same stuff they are, and let them pick where we go on all of our dates because I don't want to risk ruining the vibe by doing, saying, or suggesting anything they don't like, you may think you're showing kindness, but you're actually showing that you're not strong enough to stand up for yourself against any pushback you might get for your decisions. Rather than being kind, you're being nice in the hopes that stronger people will be kind to you. You let people walk all over you to avoid being trampled. Now, I appreciate the process of being seen as strong and kind rather than weak and nice hasn't exactly been made clear yet, so I'll make sure to cover that in detail in the next video. But I think the best way to sum it up is, I'm sure we're all familiar with the saying, nice guys finish last, or nice girls finish last. There's a reason that it refers to nice guys and not kind guys. When you're nice, it's because you're trying to run the race whilst being as pleasant and inoffensive to the other racers as possible. But when you're kind, it's because you've already won, and now you're just helping others to win too. Don't be nice, be kind. Fluent Social. Painfully obsessing over every aspect of social reality imaginable, so you don't have to.